All right, Shalom. We're the brothers from a great Hillsong branch out in Des Moines, Iowa. We're going to give all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakodash.
Yahweh is the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem, meaning in the name. Yahushai is the true, holy, and powerful name of His only begotten Son, who is the Savior of the nation of Israel, starting off with the elect within the nation of Israel. And Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as your Israelite foreigners scattered abroad that may look like the nations where you've been scattered to, but are Israelites. We also want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Pushing out this word on sincerity and the truth. All right, we're the brothers from the Great Millstone branch out of Des Moines, Iowa, coming back at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit. And me and the brother Baraki, man, we was just talking in the spirit, after camp. We was listening to a few different lessons. One from a vision that Rala had. I was playing it for him, and the spirit just had us talking about, really not caring about the things of this world, man. We're at the end of this thing, man. We're seeing that everything that we've desired, that we've hoped for, the Lord bringing in the judgment, all right, that day where shit is going to hit the fan, and there ain't going to be no more work, there ain't going to be no more of these different things that, at one point might have weighed down our mind or, had to worry about and everything like that. It's going to be a complete shift, man. As the scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. So things are going to change on the instant, man. And as we was talking about, different things, it's like, man, look, we don't care about this shit. We got to really walk in that mentality and really focus on what's to come and being prepared for what's to come. And as a matter of fact, could you grab Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 15, and then you got it?
Yeah, I got you. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 and verse 15. It says, to think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care.
Right, so whoso watcheth for her shall be quickly without care. All right. So as we grow in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and our faith gets deeper into these prophecies and the Lord's promises and so on and so forth, it should increase or it should take us away from the cares of this world more and more, man. All right. To where we're not worried about these things. We're not so attached or afraid to lose this or to lose that or care what this person thinks or that person thinks and so on and so forth. We should really be growing in that, man, because we're growing in our faith in the world to come. All right, see, our forefathers, they considered themselves being pilgrims. So they weren't as attached to the things of this world. They didn't care. All right. So they weren't allowing themselves to get all weighed down. They had responsibilities and they had things that they had to take care of. But that wasn't a priority, man. All right, it talks about that in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, 14 and verse. Could you grab that real quick in verse 5? Bible Kasha.
Well, what you just call
2nd Ezra 14 and 5, if I'm not mistaken, or 14 and 14.
2nd Ezra 14 and verse 14. Yep. It says, I'm starting at verse 13. It says, now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such as them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption.
Right, comfort such as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption, man. All right, and the things of this world, all right, all this is corruption, man. All right, leads to death, and you got majority of the people, they're consumed with corruptible things, man. That's why the scriptures talk about in the book of, I believe it's in the book of Matthew. All right, Yahushua said, set your affection, on things. Nah, that's not how it's worded. It says, man, it's escaping me now.
Let me see. I'm gonna try to find it.
Where moth and rust doth corrupt, and thieves break through.
Yeah, store your treasures in heaven.
That's how it is. Yeah. Store up your treasures in heaven, where moth and rust don't corrupt, and where thieves can't break through and steal.
That's right.
See, the things that the Lord has reserved for us, man, like it says in the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, says how they desire a better country. Mm-hmm. That is a better city. Talking about the kingdom.
Yeah.
And we should be growing in our attachment towards the things of the kingdom as opposed to the things of this world, which causes us to be without care.
Yeah.
Of these different things, man. At one point you might have got bugged out if a bitch left you. Now you don't care. Why? Because your hope is in the kingdom. You're not worried about she lost. You won. You're winning. Yeah. Right? And anything else, man, you're not worried about, you get fired from a job. Now, of course, we use wisdom and, you analyze, like, all right, was I moving in wisdom? Whatever the case may be. If they just fired you, oh, well, hey, call Allah like y'all about Shemi Awashad, but you do not give a fuck about the things of this world, man. Mm-hmm. All right? And growing into that, man, because it's easy to say it, but it's another thing really walking in that vibration and not being attached to these different things, man, too caught up into it emotionally to where it has too much of a pull of us or whatever the case may be.
Yep, it says, verse 14, it says, let go from the mortal thoughts.
Right, so these are things that are mortal thoughts, man. You know, let me quote my man Murph again, man. You in a heartbreak hotel over a shorty. That's a mortal thought. All right, you know how many women you finna have that's gonna be pure? Worried about this dusty bitch?
Yeah.
All right. You know, that has been through how many niggas? And you crying over her? And like we was talking about in the spirit, man, if you could receive him at Lord's will, we be a part of that number. In the beginning, the Elohim, they created all things with Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, Yahweh Shai created everything with his 144,000, you know, and everything else, man, the angels and so on and so forth. He created everything through them, but you tripping over some shit that you might have created. You know, when you put that in perspective, like imagine that, man. Imagine that you in the kingdom, you know, you and just realize like you created this bitch.
Yeah.
Or you created this and that and the third, and you finna trip out, bug out over it. Like, you know, it just sound crazy, man. So certain things, as we really grow in the wisdom and knowledge and the mysteries of the Lord, it's like certain things like, man, that's water off a duck back, man.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't tripping over this. I ain't tripping over losing that. You know, we got children and everything like that, man, and so on and so forth that we, you know, you care about and everything like that. But if it comes down to it, man, these spirits are the Lord's. You know, whatever happens is what happens, man. That's of the Lord. And not tripping over these different things. Why? Because you're going to get everything in the kingdom. You know, you really believe that you're going to receive 100-fold. All right, we have to ask ourselves, do we really believe that? Mm-hmm. Do I believe I'm going to receive 100-fold, 100 times as much as what I lose? So if that's the case, then I shouldn't allow myself to get too attached to these different things, man.
Yep.
Having the mentality of a pilgrim, because I believe in what the Lord promised. All right, the scripture says that, man, the sufferings of this present time is not worthy to be compared to the glory that shall be revealed in us. Mm-hmm. So if we really have a deep belief in these things, it should drive away different worries, anxieties, or cares of this life, those mortal thoughts.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. It says, let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of men, put off the weak nature.
Right, and we should be putting off more and more of that weak nature.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the spirit.
More of those worries and cares of this and that and the third and so on and so forth, man. Our affection is on things above, man. You know, I requote the brother's dream, man. It really excites me, you know. It just excites me, and it's like, man, because that day when shit hits the fan, bro, it's going to be a relief, man. Like, finally, man. Finally.
Yeah.
You know, it's all over with. It ain't no going back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're just going forward from there. You know, we just waiting for the Lord to, because we was talking about it earlier, that we're in the times where much glory doeth abide. So we're going to be seeing different glorious works of the Lord, you know, the chariots, you know, from the chariots and from him lifting up that standard, so on and so forth, up until Lord's will, we're part of that number that gets delivered out of this place, man, to watch this place get destroyed from the sea of glass, man. You know, and that's the ultimate goal that we want to receive, is that salvation. Yep. You know, and then from there, we in the kingdom. All right. And then we got eternity to relax, all right, to rejoice, all right, to give praises to the Most High and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Yeah. You know, and that's going to be for eternity. So we have many things to look forward to rather than the things that we see. That's why it says that this place is temporal. You know, it says, how's it worded? It says let me just type it in real quick.
Look not at things which you're seeing.
Yep. 2 Corinthians 4:18. It says.
Start at 17.
Yep, verse 17, it says, for our light affliction, matter of fact, I started 16, yep. It says, for which cause we faint not, but through the outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And that goes back into putting off the weak nature, because that's what that old man was. That old man, he was that weak nature. All right, the outward man is weak. All right, so that's why we're renewing the inward man. We're renewing the spirit of our minds. You got it, though.
Yeah, just to even add to that, man, you know, it says the outward man perish. So that's, you know, killing that nigga off, man. Mm-hmm. Really, that's what's being killed off, man. And then the outside looking in, like it says in the book of Wisdom and Solomon, the 3rd chapter, man, it says, man, real quick, Wisdom of Solomon 3. All right, because from the outside looking in, it's supposed to look like we're losing. All right. Did you know that when Yahweh Shai was going through what he was going through, it looked like he was losing? You know, it looked like he wasn't going to win. All right. he already knew he won.
Mm-hmm.
See, right now it looks like we're losing, but we see that, oh nah, we're winning. Look at what's happening through the earth. All right, these people is about to start suffering. Troops is coming in, man. All right, the Lord giving us signs and different, he's showing, man, he said he's gonna grant power.
Mm-hmm.
He promised a deliverance. Everything that he promised is happening. So on the outside looking in, it looks like we're losing, but we know we winning.
Mm-hmm.
We know we on top. On the outside looking in, Noah looked like he was losing, but he was winning the whole time.
Till you see what happened.
Yeah, when that rain started coming down, we saw who was winning.
Yeah.
So we about to win big time. We're already winning big time, man. Through the Spirit, man. So that's why our focus is on, sowing to the Spirit so that we could reap life everlasting, man. While these people being caught up in sowing to the flesh, all right, and they're gonna lose, and they're losing now, and they're about to lose real big, man. But just real quick, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 and verse 4, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. It says, I'll start at the top, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. So you had certain of our forefathers that literally died, all right, but then also spiritually, man, applying in the spiritual sense, should I say, is what, man? It looks like in the eyes of people, these people that were
throwing our lives away.
We're throwing our lives away. That's why Paul, he said, I die daily.
Yep.
Because you're not, you might not have the best car, you might not have the things of this world, which don't matter. That's why Paul talked about, I count all things but done. Like this ain't shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, because these women is trash. All right, this money's fake, the food is whack. All right, it's captivity, man.
Yeah.
So because you're not chasing or getting those different things, everybody is looking at you as if you're dying. All right, just because you didn't throw your life away to go to college and lose all your money, all right, to come out of college and not being able to get a job or to work next to this nigga, all right, that didn't go to college and he making more than you, all right, because you didn't make that dumbass decision.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're looked at as being crazy. But the world told you, go do this, go to college, and why don't you do this with your life, and so on and so forth. We gave away our life to win Yahushua Mashiach, who is our life.
Yep.
That's what our faith and belief has been into, man.
Yep.
All right, it's pleasing the Lord and knowing that there's nothing sweeter than the fear of the Lord and how they will be greatly rewarded, man. All right, as it says also, I believe in this Wisdom of Solomon, right? So it says, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace, right? We at peace, all right? Through the belief in the comfort of the scriptures, we're at peace. We know what we're doing through the Spirit. We believe in what we got coming. See, even what Yahushua said, for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross, despising the shame. Meaning that for the joy, the reward that he knew he was going to receive, he thought of what he had to go through as little or nothing, all right? So he didn't even trip. So to speak. Of course, now, in his flesh, the scriptures talk about he prayed to the Heavenly Father. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He cried out to the Heavenly Father. The Lord gave him strength. The angel came down and strengthened him, as it says, man, and he was able to endure what he had to endure. You know what I'm saying? But you don't think that reward was on his mind? That's what Hebrews 12 lets us know. He was thinking about that reward. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. Looks like I'm losing, but nigga, at my name, every knee is gonna bow down. Yahushua he knew about the reward. All right, and that strengthened him. So we got to deal with what we got to deal with. Micah the 7th chapter, I'll bear the indignation of the Lord, but he's going to plead my cause. Yeah, we'll deal with the ridicule. We'll deal with how y'all look at us and so on and so forth. Who cares, man? Y'all are finna die. Let the multitude perish which was born in vain. All right, but let my grape be kept. Second Ezra, man. All right, talks about how, man, what's the precept? It just escaped my mind. But, man, how's the word? Oh, well, it's all good. If the Spirit bring it back, I'll quote it. But that reward is on our mind, so we know that, the Lord is going to take care of his men. His servants are going to eat while everybody else is thirsty and hungry and crying for sorrow of heart and vexation of spirit, while his servants are going to be well taken care of, man. And these are the days that we're approaching. So going back to that Micah, yeah, we'll bear the indignation of the Lord, all right, because we've sinned against him, but he's going to plead our cause, man. All right, his servants will be taken care of. Then shall it be known who is my chosen. All those that have mocked and scoffed them, they're going to be dealt with by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And these things strengthen us to continue to press on. Like, yeah, we're at the end. We see it coming. Our reward is right here. We're about to start getting those, Big rewards, man. It already starts in the spirit through the endurance the Lord continues to give us, the faith he continues to give us to press on, you know. But man, miracles is going to be seen, great deliverances, all these things is written is going to happen. The Lord is not a man that he shall lie, right? But it says, finishing out on this Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, 3 verse 4, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. All right, it says, and having been a little chastised, right, so a little punishment, you know, they shall be greatly rewarded. So a great reward is coming, man. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself. So the trials and tribulations is a part of our proving process. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. So we present ourselves as a living sacrifice, man. All right. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. All right. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their glory shall reign forever. So they're going to get power. They're going to get dominion, rulership, authority. Right. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful and love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. And the Lord is going to show forth that care that he has for his servants, his believers, the elect. All right. In the sight of all these people, man, you know. But that was it in that Wisdom of Solomon.
All right, so going back to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 17, it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
Yeah, so the affliction that we're going through, you know, is nothing in comparison to what we're going to receive, man. And we got to believe that. We got to believe that, man. You know, what the Lord said he's going to give us and grant us is going to far outweigh anything that, you know, we could have even imagined. He's going to blow our mind.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. You know, it's going to be worth it. It's more than worth it.
Yeah, but that's why going back to that 2nd Esdras 14, let go from the mortal thoughts. Okay, cast away the burdens of men. All this is a light thing that we're dealing with, that we're having to go through. You know, it's not going to compare to the things that we're going to receive, as the brother just said, man. You know, so anything that we're going through, we can go through it. Are we able to deal with it? You know, we're able to press through it. Okay, as it says in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. I love to quote that precept. All right, but it says that, oh man, nah, that precept just escaped me.
2 Corinthians 10 and 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it says, but we would, nah, you talking about,
First Corinthians.
Yeah. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. Spirit just wants us to read it. It says, there hath no temptation taken you but such as is common to man, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it.
That's right. A way to an escape, that you may be able to bear it. And what it says through Yahushua, Mashiach, I can do all things through Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that strengtheneth me. You know, roughly paraphrasing the precept, man. All right, so we're able to conquer anything that's before us, anything that we're going through, or anything that we're dealing with, anything that's pressing on our minds. We're able to conquer those things through our Lord Yahushua. All right, but you have to believe these things, man. All right, you can't just be caught up in whatever it is that you're dealing with, all right, to where it breaks you, all right. And then you're not locked in. All right. Then you focusing on this, that, and the third. You're not focusing on Yahushua.
Then you focus on mortality instead of immortality.
Yeah.
You focus on the death and the hell and the things of this world. It's like all this shit finna perish.
Yeah, and that can cause a much more of a heavy burden than what it was, man. You know, because you're worrying about this, that, and the third. Nah, fuck all that, man. Be carefree. You know, and I want to grab just a couple of things from that template. You know, just a few.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll finish that. You finish that Corinthians?
No, I'm gonna finish this real quick.
Okay. Did you want me to? Oh, let me finish this. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
Oh yeah, slide.
There is no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
That's right. You know, that you may be able to bear it. So there's always going to be an escape, whatever it is that we're dealing with, whatever it is that we need help with. You know, the Lord is going to always provide a way to an escape, whether that's going to be through, you know, counsel from the brother, you know, through anything, man, you know. But back in 2 Corinthians 4 and 18, it says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right, so everything that we see on this side, man, all this is temporal. All right, and you know, and sometimes we have to be reassured of these things, man. It says whatsoever was written aforetime was written for our learning, that through patience and comfort of the scriptures, we might have hope, you know. So sometimes, you know, we have to be reassured of these different things when we're dealing with certain situations. And that's the exhorting. It says exhort one another daily, you know. And it's the process that we have to go through in order to stay locked in, to stay in the spirit, all right, to stay zoned in of what we're of the goal that's at hand, man, of the things that which are not seen, which are eternal, all right, the end goal, all right, eternity, you know. But that was it in that 2 Corinthians 4. I'm gonna go back to 2 Esdras 14.
And then go to them points.
2 Esdras 14 and verse 14. It says, "Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times." Because why? Because we're pilgrims upon the earth, man. All right. We're setting aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and we're gonna pray to Yahweh Shema Shah to remove these heavy. It says cast the burdens unto Yahweh Shah, man. You know. So we're not gonna be too caught up and worried about, you know, all this stuff that don't even matter. All right, we're not a bitch that don't matter, a car that don't matter, a job that don't matter. You know, whatever it is that might be a burden unto you, man. It doesn't matter. It's all temporal. You know, but you have to believe that, all right, because it's all a perspective, man. You know, it's all a perspective of how we view things, man. We know that this place is going. Look where we're at. Look all the prophecy that's taking place. All right. The brother we was just listening to the clip of the elder Arala, man. The dream that he had, man. You know, this is the times that we're about to enter into pretty soon. Yeah. You know, and that's gonna be a game changer. You know,
game changer, bro. He was mentioning it's like he was like, bro, I was happy.
Yeah,
like I wasn't afraid. Like I was happy,
bro. That's
so this woman, he was like, man, I ain't hear a peep.
Hear a peep, yep.
I ain't hear a peep. Not even a poop. Not even a poop. Because there was no question, no. Yeah, we finna go right. Whoa. Nah, bro. None of that. It was shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It was fear. It was, you know, and he was rejoicing, happy. He talked about that feeling, man, and that day is approaching, man, where all those different things, burdens that, you know, from your job and from Jake deal with from your woman, a lot of that's going to melt away as soon as that day happens, and that day will come. Mm-hmm. And you got guys that are fainting and losing patience when, nigga, you right here, you finna get the reward. Everything you've been prophesying about for years and that you've been so supposed to be hoping in is it finna happen, and you finna throw it away to go do what? Nothing. To go do nothing for nothing. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, we right here. It ain't time to get weak. It ain't time to get faint. All right, nigga, you got to get that reward. We gotta endure unto the end. Yep. So it's like, shit, we at the point to where it's like we done got through a lot of the hard shit, years of, you know, suffering, and there's more hard shit to come. Don't get it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, there's more hard shit to come, but it's like you done went through the longevity of this, you know. Times is going quicker, and you finna throw it away after you done put in years of work.
Yeah, you done conquered all this other shit that you was able to conquer before. Now you stuck.
You gonna let all these people that talk shit against you, you know, get like they gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, here it is, they done talked all this shit towards you, and you gonna prove them right? You know, which that ain't gonna be the case, because all these motherfuckers, even if a nigga fall out, like, they might laugh at him, but they gonna fear the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, they gonna see the glory of Yahweh Shemi Awashai. Like, nah, he was right. You know, even if the nigga is like, nah, those different things that brothers was prophesying about or whatever, like, nah, the Lord did come.
Yeah.
You know, people gonna see and witness these different things, man. But nah, bro, fuck that, man. Ain't no way, Lord's will. You know. But go ahead, Salaki.
Nah, you good. This is just real quick in the Google AI overview for the word carefree. All right, so it says carefree describes a state of being free from anxiety, worry, or responsibility. It says often associated with lightheartedness, happiness, and an easygoing attitude. Now, where it says being a state of being free from anxiety and worry, well, more so about the cares of this life. All right, the cares of this. Oh, you got it. Yep.
No, I was just going to back you up on Philippians 4:6. Be careful for nothing.
Yep.
All right. But in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto the Most High.
And man, and that's a heavy statement right there. That's a heavy point. Let your supplication, all right, and prayer be made unto Yahweh Shem Shah.
Yep.
All right, be carefree in anything that you're dealing with. Pray and ask Yahweh Shem Shah to remove whatever it is from out of your way, man.
Yeah, give you the strength to endure whatever the case may be,
endure.
because that's, it's carefree because you give it over to the Lord.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not worried about this anymore. I'm not finna let this boggle my mind. I'm finna cast away these mortal thoughts that I'm thinking about, and I'm finna cast our burdens unto Yahweh Shem Shah.
Cast our burden upon the Lord, for he cared for you, man.
Yep.
And he shall sustain thee. Cast our burden upon the Lord, for he shall sustain thee. He shall not suffer the righteous to be moved.
It says, I won't be afraid of evil tidings.
Yeah, that's bad news.
Yep.
My heart is fixed, trusting in Yahweh Shem Shah. So we give these things over to the Lord, man. Give these things over to the Lord, deal with what we got to deal with, and that's what takes away the worry and the anxiety off of us, because we give it over into the Lord and we just focus on what we need to do for him and trust and believe that he'll take care of the other things that need to be taken care of, as long as we're locked in and focused on him. All right. And so we take care of the responsibilities that we need to the best of our ability. We be men. All right, like the Apostle Gabar always says, to be a man of the Lord, you got to be a man first. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's what it is, man. So that's what we take care of what we need to. But hey, we trust in the Lord, man, to take care of everything. And he does it. And he'll continue to. And we're going to move in that same mentality, walking by faith. That shows forth the faith, because in this time we coming into, nigga, you ain't going to be able to do anything. So you're going to circle in your mind about, well, how am I going to do this? How are we going to eat? That's what, let the people in the world, let them bug out. This is the time for them to start bugging out, really worrying, because they don't have no job and they don't have no faith. So the Lord ain't going to be delivering them, and they all confused. This is their time to be bugging out.
Yep.
This is the time where we...
Yep.
The Lord got it.
Yep. This is what
we've been working for. It says in the fear of the Lord is strong confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So because we've been moving in the fear of the Lord, it's a certain confidence that we're going to be walking in these days. As we move in the fear of the Lord, it's a balance. Confidence in the Lord and walking in that fear of him, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple of bullet points for the key characteristics of being carefree. One of the bullet points says lack of worry, and it says a carefree state implies freedom from concerns, troubles, and anxieties. The next bullet point says lightheartedness. It says it is characterized by cheerfulness, joy, and a positive outlook. And that's how we view the things. We view everything on a positive outlook, because we understand that this place has to go down. We're going to have to be put in these certain situations for just like how I believe you made mention earlier. It's like we're going to have to be put in these certain situations just for the Lord to deliver us out of.
Yeah.
So it's going to look bad. Of course, we're going to be put in these different camps, whatever it is, whatever it may be. But just as we read in our about our forefathers, what happened with Paul? He was in the prison, and an earthquake took place. Shackles fell off. All right, the doors busted open. Roughly paraphrasing that account, and got up out of there. The
angel came, walked them out the city, opened the gates.
Yeah.
All types of different things, man.
That standard was lifted.
Yeah.
And this is what we're hoping. So that's our hope. All right. That positive outlook is our faith, is our hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you are hoping for greater. He said greater works than these.
Yeah, really.
This is the time where great glory doth abide.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, it's going to be way more glorious. That was some raw ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be even greater.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we get delivered, But the Lord said what he said, like, it's going to be greater in this time. This is the great. It ain't even what happened in Egypt. Ain't even finna compare to what the Lord, how he delivers us out of these jams in this time period. So, and it's going to be seen in the sight of all these people, man. He said he was going to give them fame, in the land where they was put to shame. So, the Lord going to show it, So, hey, that's why it says, abide in not fear. Abide in the fear of the Lord, man, and he shall exalt thee in due season, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty much on those bullet points. I want to grab one more precept.
I got more in this Philippians, or you want to hit that first?
Yeah, you can hit that
Philippians 4 and 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto the Most High, and the peace of the Most High, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Right, so that peace comes when you truly give it over to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, trusting him to take care of it. You throwing up them prayers, you that prayers mixed with faith, you believing in the Lord to accomplish it, and you just let it go. And if it comes back in your mind, you pray it again, you let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Then when it tries to come back 3 times, 4 times, the same day, 5 times, 6 times, you know what you do? The same thing.
Bro.
Pray it to the Lord and then let it go.
Yeah.
It comes back again. All right, it didn't bother you. 2 days later, you still cool, not thinking about it. 3rd day, come back in your head. You know what you do? The same thing. Pray to the Lord and then let it go.
Yep.
That's the process, man.
Yep. As Jake will say, you know, situations change, but these words don't change.
Yep.
You know, so we're going to keep doing the same thing because it works every time.
Yeah, we ain't finna do no new shit in Jacob's trouble.
Yeah.
We're gonna I'll cry out to the Lord. Bible gonna try to deliver me from this, help me with this. Do it now. So then in that time, you're gonna be in a heavier jam.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna cry out to the Lord, and then he's gonna show even heavier might.
Yep.
Heavier, intervening.
Yep.
We're gonna do the same thing that we're doing now is gonna be applied in that time.
Yep. This is Luke 21 and verse 34. It says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares." So, we want to always, make sure that we're taking heed unto ourselves and we're examining ourselves so we don't get caught up with the affairs of this life, man. Like we went into earlier, man. Everything in this world is temporal. All right, so there's no point of getting all caught up with with the daily shit that we got to deal with and different situations that we get put in. There's no point in getting too caught up in that because we already know that it's all this whole place finna be dissolved. So it says knowing that these things shall be dissolved, what man or person you ought to be in holy conversation and godliness. The conversation goes into a conduct. So we should be operating in a particular spirit, especially now, seeing that these things are starting to ramp up. We're seeing the different prophecies take place. We're seeing the uproars of the people. We're seeing troops about to be put on the ground, boots on the ground.
Them niggas kicking in doors. ICE already shooting at niggas in Cali.
Well, they coming to get a Tia.
They coming to get the Abuelas, Tias. You know what I'm saying?
But no, all these things are currently happening, we're getting closer to that day. So, so that day don't come upon us unawares, man. We should be, taking heed and staying locked in the spirit.
Oh, the spirit had me remember that precept I was thinking about in 2nd Ezra, man.
That's the spirit.
It says, fear not the incredulity of them that trouble thee. All the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, man. Yeah. Remember, these people gonna die, man. They gonna perish, and it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's gonna be horrible, man, and we gonna laugh.
Yep.
Why? Because it's prophecy.
Yep.
And the Lord don't lie. So, nigga, somebody gotta laugh.
Somebody gonna be laughing. Somebody
gotta be laughing, and from what I read, it's the prophets.
Yep.
It's the servants of the Lord, man, that you laughed at and that you mocked at.
Yeah. Yep.
So they gonna get the last laugh, man. He's gonna turn our sorrow into joy, and he's gonna turn their joy into pain, mourning. That's what's written, and we about to experience it. We finna see it. We finna feel it. We finna watch it. And these people gonna see that there is nothing sweeter than the fear of the Lord, man. Surely there's a reward for the righteous. Surely he's a power that judgeth in the earth, man, like it says in the book of Psalms, man. So we at the time where we win, in the sight of all these people, man. For the glorification of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, for those that stood stiffly for his name, for those that believed and held fast their faith to the end, he's going to show forth that he was the true power to be servant. He's going to show forth to the servants of Jesus Christ, you lose. The servants of Allah, whatever the fuck, you lose. All right, the servants of money, you lose. If your God was the woman, you lose. But if your God's been Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, it's time for you to win, because he's going to show forth that, like, nah, I'm the power to serve. All right? Those men, believers that were serving me, they're protected, and everybody else is through, man. Yep. So that's all I had.
Nah, that's it. Yeah. So with that being said, Lord's willing, this lesson was edifying and exhorting. Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, HaKadosh. Want to give double honors to our elders and our elder apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and on down. Peace and blessings and salutations to you, Akim, that's out to pushing this truth. All right, until next time, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.